In this video, I'll teach you how you can fix graphs in Desmos that look pretty good on a desktop screen and also make them look good on a phone screen. Because as you can see on my phone here, all the labels are overlapped and it doesn't look very good. So I'll show you how to fix that. If you're new here, my name is Olivier and I'm a certified math and physics teacher in Ontario who is currently doing a master's in statistics at Carleton University. Okay, so let's build something from scratch here that will look good on a desktop, but not so good on a phone, and let's fix it. Okay, so let's say I want a classic parabola, so it's the x squared, and let's shift it up by 1 just for style points, and we have x squared plus 1, looks like this, and let's say we want to have a dynamic tangent line depending on the value of x. So we would do that the slope of the tangent line is simply f prime evaluated at a, where a is a value of x. So maybe we can create a slider for a. So I'll put that slider on top here. So a will go between -10 and +10. Maybe we can limit it to -3 to 3 because that's what's on the screen. So then, okay, so then B, we can figure out that it's simply f at a minus a times m, I believe. So then that would be our tangent line. So then we can draw our tangent line. It's going to be mx plus b. And you can see that this is our tangent line at any point A on this curve. Okay, so let's make this a little bit nicer. Let's put this in blue, for example. It's not the real graph, so let's put it in as a dashed line. Maybe we can put it a little less thick, so maybe 2. It's going to be a bit thinner, and this looks a lot better. Let's clean up the graph itself. Let's get rid of the grid. Generally speaking, we don't need the grid unless we're placing points manually in the graph here. Let's label our axes, so X, Y, that looks pretty good. Arrows, you could put it this way. You could do reverse contrast. Some people like this more. Looks pretty good. Okay, let's keep it like this. Now this, if we look into a phone, would look pretty good. So maybe we can check that right now. At this point in our phone, this is what we see. As you can tell, it looks about the same, which is nice. The problems usually occur when we start using labels. So let's create a little legend, and sometimes I call it display. We could call it legend. I'll call it display here. And what I do usually is I set a starting point so I can move my legend around after that. It's not fixed. I'll create 2 sliders. So then as you can see, this is my starting point for my legend. Maybe let's put it at 3, 4, something like that, and then we'll be able to slide it. That looks like a pretty good starting point. Let's put it in black for now. If we label it, then we're gonna change the size. So that's the key part here, is we're gonna change the size. So we're gonna create a slider for the size and also for the opacity. So I'll call this alpha. So then you can see that you have 2 sliders. This is the size slider, and then this is the opacity. Opacity goes from 0 to 1, so then you can see as I slide this towards 0, it becomes completely invisible. The point becomes completely invisible. And then let's say we do only steps of 1. And then this is the size from 0 to 5, so then you can see as it gets bigger, the label itself gets bigger. So let's leave this at 1 for now. But usually on screen, you'll have to shift down the size. Okay, so now let's display our points. To create an equation, I need to put the 2 tick marks like this on each side of our equation. I copy paste the equation in red. I put it in here, and then you can see that I have the following. Now let's make sure that the label is on the right by clicking here. If I want it on the top or whatever, I do it like this, but I like my legends on the right. You could also put an angle. So for example, 2 rad would be like this, but this video, we're not going to be 2 rad. Okay. And eventually we're going to get rid of this point because we don't want a black point. But for now, it's pretty useful because then we can drag our entire legend. So let's just undo that. Okay, so now we can recreate a few points instead of duplicating everything. So now I want a point below that with the equation of my tangent line as a dynamic label. So if I just do -1, you see that I have another line below, but that's not what we want here, because maybe I want to adjust a different spacing. So what I'll do is I'll do a vertical shift slider. So then I can play around with how much lower I want this point to be. So let's say we leave it at 1. 1 seems a little bit far on my screen, so how about 0.5? And here we want the tangent line. So the tangent line has equation y equals mx plus b. So I copy paste this in here. I can even put it as a blue color, and then I can put this as a red color because that's our function. We want a dynamic label, so I'll do $, curly brackets on each side, because then that's a value. So you can see that the -3.66 suddenly appeared over here. I can do the same thing on this side, so then it would be $, curly bracket of b, and now the b has become a decimal. And then you can see that this is a lot better, looks good. Let's just do one more point, and it's going to be 2 times the vertical shift, so it's going to be a bit lower. Let's put it in black, and this time we want just the value of a, so I'll write that x naught is equal to the dynamic value for a. So then we have something that looks like this. We can play around with the point, but how about we leave it there? Looks a little small, so let's bump up the size to, let's say, 1.5. This looks pretty good. The alpha, we can maybe put the 0.9, something like that, and that looks really good. So now let's share this graph to my phone, and let's go see how it looks on my phone. Okay, so already we're seeing that this doesn't look very good on my phone. All the labels are overlapped and they look too big. So how about we change? We go in the display, we change the size first of all. So let's bring that down, or we can change the vertical shift. Let's put that at 1.5. That looks a lot better. And let's maybe put the size at 0.5. And then we could do something like this. We can play around with the alpha, but now you see that our legend looks a lot better. You can see how our vertical axis, there's more room. So maybe we can even shift it up. So our y naught, our initial value, if you want, you could also drag the point if you want to initialize it that way as well. So we can maybe put it at 10, see how that looks. And that's a lot better, right? So the point of all these sliders is that you can adjust on every screen, so it looks good on every screen, and create like a phone version, a desktop version, and so on, but also allow the users to adjust them. Okay, so I hope you took a thing or two away from this video. If you like this video, you're probably going to enjoy the other Desmos video you're going to see appear on the screen. If you want to support the channel and join the Do the Work community, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for notifications of future videos like this one. Make sure to leave me all your questions in the comments below, like the video, and really it's to share it with your friends. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time with Do the Work.